That is correct, shorty.
I'm mad my heartburn want to start acting up once I start the video. Hey guys, Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, hello, my name is Harriyanna and welcome to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. Always remember that I am the captain, you are not my first mate. Stop trying to say that you're the first mate because you're not. No one's worthy of being the first mate. How many times I have to go over it? But hello, if you're new here, hello, my name is Harriyanna and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I have within those spaces. Now today, it's just not been my week, let's just say that. I was working on my most popular girls in school video all this week and I want to be happy when I work on that, and I'm just kind of down today. I'm trying to stay positive, but it's just kind of like so many factors going on and I'm like, so I was like, you know what, why don't I get on here? I still wanted to make something because I don't know, the way I cope with things and the way I deal with things is just like making art and content and things like that. I just kind of didn't want to sit around the house and be doing nothing all day because I was supposed to have a very productive day, but we're not gonna get into the details of that. What made me want to make this video is because it's honestly a video that I've had in my brain, like up here. Like, you know that episode of SpongeBob when he was like going through the files in his brain? I feel like I have one of those in my brain too, and it's like a file that I've always had when it's come to like the subject of Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, and just Channel Awesome. And I've always wanted to tackle and talk about that subject right there. But I didn't want to come off as vicious, I didn't want to come off as mean, I didn't want it to come off across as me hating on them, because people had told me that I was hating on Doug Walker before, and I'm just like, no, that is not the case whatsoever. And I finally found the words for it today on how I want to go about it. Now, y'all know I outline all my videos. I have my outline sitting right here on my computer. Oh, look who it is. It's me upside down. But yeah, I have my outline sitting right here on my lap. It's turned out to be longer than I thought it would be, so yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get into this. Let's get into the fruit of this video essay. I said fruit because I love fruit. I don't know, I had mangoes yesterday and they was busting, by the way. Eat frozen mangoes, by the way. It tastes like ice cream or like sherbet. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the video. As you guys know, I am having one of those days and I don't know, I want to be happy in that most popular girls in school review, so I just decided to postpone it and make something that would just kind of fit the tone of this video a little bit more. I know a lot of people don't like it when I make personal videos, and to the dickheads in my comments that don't like it when I make personal videos, you can kindly click off and, like, seriously, like, come on, like, I feel like if a content creator wants to open up and talk about themselves personally, they can do that on their own channel. Who are you to tell me that I can't talk about my life experiences on my own space? Like, no, go away, go away. But like I said, the main reason I'm making this because I know that many other people can relate to what I am going to be talking about, as I used to love me some Nostalgia Critic. At one point, that was one of my favorite shows. I used to be a really big fan of Doug Walker. I used to be a big fan. Ew, okay? I used to be subscribed to Channel Awesome. I'm not no more. I give those people none of my support. They have no respect for me. I just kind of, after I found out about all the stuff that went on behind the scenes with those people, I just kind of been really turned off. But a part of me was still watching the show. I don't watch the show anymore, by the way. So yeah, I don't know what the freak they're up to nowadays. I really don't care. But yeah, So if you don't know what the freak I'm talking about, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys who these people are and what they do, so you'll have a better understanding of where I'm coming from when I get into like the fruit of the video. Like I said, you people like to say the meat and potatoes and things like that, but I'm just like, no, I'm in a fruit mood right now. Fruit makes me happy, and also when I'm really depressed and anxious, fruit is kind of like the only thing I want to eat. It's so weird. It's so weird. But like I said, here's some context. Doug Walker is a critic and content creator who does what I do. Like, what we do is very similar, where we talk about children's media. We make content based off children's media. We give commentary on children's media, but he has a way different way of going about it than I do. Okay, we're like in the same kind of like spectrum, but we go about our work differently. So yeah, if you're wondering who Doug Walker is, that's exactly who he is. Like, I talk about kid shows all the time, but they come from like a young black girl's perspective, and of course he is a white man who is going to see things differently. So yeah. And Nostalgia Critic is a web series created by Doug Walker and a few others, where Doug Walker plays the title character, Nostalgia Critic. So Nostalgia Critic is a character based off Doug Walker. So when you see people online talking about Nostalgia Critic and Doug Walker, 9 times out of 10 they're talking about the same person, or they're talking about the show, but he basically is the show. So yeah, that's why a lot of people flip back and forth when they're talking about Doug or Nostalgia Critic. So the show is basically a commentary on media with extremely unfunnily I'm gonna put that on a shirt. Unfunny and unsettling storylines that go along with them. Like, y'all know that whole little, I don't know, for my people that did used to watch Nostalgia Critic, they used to do like this Black Willy Wonka skit, and it was not funny like whatsoever. Like, it came off across as a little racist, but we're not gonna go there. So he does a lot of screaming at things in his videos, such as making over exaggerated faces after a joke falls flat, where it's trying so hard to be funny. And that's the problem with Nostalgia Critic, is just trying too hard to be funny. Some people are naturally funny. These are not those people. I'm sorry, it's just not y'all. It's okay not to be naturally funny. Not everyone has that gift. But that's the context we're coming from. That's basically the series that we are going to be discussing today, and how it really messed me up throughout my teen years, and how me being a young adult, I finally feel like I can think a little bit for myself. It sounds crazy, but y'all, I'm going to get into that. So like I said, now, before I even get into it, just know that there's nothing wrong with disliking things, because 9 times out of 10 when it comes to Nostalgia Critic, they talk about things that they don't like, okay? The entire show is about children's media, or not even just children's media, just nostalgic media, like media that came out while you were in the past and things like that, and they don't like, or they talk about how they think it's bad, or they think it's terrible, or how it just doesn't hold up today. That's really just the premise of the show. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with disliking things. Y'all know I'm pretty open about when it comes to I don't like things. Like, I no longer am gonna go out of my way to make a video about something that I dislike unless it has like a really hurtful or harmful issue within it. But if it's something that's just bad just to be bad, like Powerpuff Girls Z, for example, I think it's bad. You don't have to think it's bad, but I think it's bad. I'm not gonna make a video on it, okay? But yeah, but every week we, and when I say we, I mean me and thousands of other people, would tune in to see what the Nostalgia Critic is going to shit on next. Like, every single week, we literally got excited to see what they were gonna drag for that week. And the thing about it is that it's one thing to drag something for being problematic, but they were just dragging things for whatever at the point. Like, it was just kind of getting frustrating, which leads to a lot of the other points I'm gonna come across in this video. And sometimes it would be like things that we enjoy. It would be things that we actually like. And that's where it really becomes an issue with this series. And the reception after reviews in the comment section is where a lot of things got to get a little bit more strange. Like I said, the comment section would be really weird, because like, if you disagree with the people, they would tell you why you were wrong and why Doug and the rest of them were right. And that's where it is a big problem. And a lot of what he said was also kind of racist and misogynistic and just ignorant to a certain extent. But we're not going to get into that because I remember, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and throw this. Let me just go ahead and put him on blast for what he said right here, because I remember he made a really rude comment about the way Diana Ross looked in her and when she was in The Wiz, when he made a video about The Wiz. And I remember he used gay as a slur when he was talking about Jiminy Cricket in Pinocchio. So just throw that out there for anybody that is kind of like aware of the like problematic things he has said in the past. But anyway, basically it was turning into this. If the Nostalgia Critic didn't like something, I didn't like it. And it really messed me up because I was going through a phase like in like my teen years, especially when I watched this show all the time, where I was constantly being told what I should and shouldn't like, and it was already coming from my peers all the time at school because y'all know I've always been really nerdy, always been into like nerd culture and things like that, things that are associated with like being dorky, like comic books and cartoons and things like that. I was constantly already being told that I shouldn't like those things, so I felt really weird about them altogether. And then once he came online and talked about things that I did like and said they were terrible, I felt even more worse about them, and I started to pretend that I didn't like these things. Like I said, I pretended like I didn't like it. I was ashamed for liking what I liked. And it would just be things that I would never even give the chance to because he didn't like them. Like, it was so freaking weird. Like, it's a lot of stuff. Like, I remember it was, what was it? It was Good Burger. I love Good Burger. That movie has issues though, but I really did enjoy that, and he just wasn't here for it. That really kind of messed up my viewing of that film, because I was like, oh my god, this movie sucks because Nostalgia Critic doesn't like it. And the entire interview has, not the entire interview, the entire internet has seen his take on the movie, and that's gonna affect everyone else. And yeah, and the way he would come for black media a lot of the times was very like off-putting, if that makes sense. And it was another one where he was talking about Hey Arnold, and I love Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold is one of those shows that I never had a problem with when I was a kid. Like, I loved it growing up, but when I became a teenager and when I went to high school, when I went through my phase where I was about in the 9th grade and I would just watch the show all the time, I would read fan fiction on the show and things like that, I loved it. I freaking loved it. And then I found him saying that he thought Hey Arnold was dull, and I was just really kind of hurt by that because I was just like, dang, so Hey Arnold isn't good in his eyes. Oh, that means I have to think it's bad now. Like, y'all get where I'm coming from? I was already kind of getting picked on for these things at school, and then when I came home and I saw one of my favorite content creators at the time didn't like it, I felt as if I shouldn't like it either. Like with It 2017, I love It 2017, by the way. One of my favorite freaking movies. I freaking adore it, okay? I love that movie so much, and I like that movie. It's been a while since I had liked the movie that much when I had first watched it. Like, I'm talking about movies that came out in 2017. A lot of films that came out that year I really didn't care for like that, but when I saw that one, I was here for it, okay? Was it 2017? Yes, it was 2017, because that was the year I met my friend Shell. Yeah, that was a moment, okay? That was a moment. And I was very disappointed. Not really very disappointed, but I was really nervous and kind of scared when I saw that Nostalgia Critic was going to be doing an episode about It 2017. So I was like, alright, what is this going to be? What is this going to be? And then he posted his review, and I was just overridden with so much confusion because I really didn't know how to feel, in a sense. Like, I think it was a pretty good movie, okay? The movie wasn't perfect, don't get me wrong. Like, all movies have issues. Literally nothing out here is perfect, okay? Like, part of the reason why I don't be sharing my opinions about a lot of films that a lot of people think are perfect, because I'm gonna be real, I think a lot of them are boring. Like Spirited Away, I think the movie's boring. I can't. I'm sorry. Spirited Away is just not for me. But if you love Spirited Away, that's cool. Because I remember I felt as if I had to like Spirited Away because the Nostalgia Critic loved it so much. But the movie just does nothing for me. Like, and that's okay. That's okay. But getting back to It's 2017, I thought it was a pretty good movie. But that episode of the show had me very, very lost about how I felt about the film. Because I changed my opinion on the film from thinking it was a good movie to just being a movie that I liked. I was like, oh yeah, it wasn't all that, but I enjoyed it. Well, no. I don't care anymore. I would straight up say that I think it is a great movie, and I highly do recommend if you watch it if you're looking for a good coming of age story. That's me, okay? I'm glad that I'm comfortable enough with myself to say that now. Like, I've come a long way. I've come a long way. But like I said, nah, it was a great ass movie. Watch it 2017. Watch it. I remember another time he was just talking about in his Lion King Disney December video, he mentioned that it was certain songs in the movie that he hated and certain songs in the movies that he loved, and I wouldn't listen to those songs that he said that he disliked because he said that he didn't like them. I interpreted that they were bad songs, and I stopped listening to them. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I'm so glad that I found so much better media to watch on YouTube, like commentary wise. I'm so thankful that I have been able to find better media, okay? Like, it was that bad, and not many other people were talking about how they had this same problem too, but we were talking about that man had a lot of, like, people didn't realize how much power his opinions had over, like, not just the cartoon community, but just the nerd community in general. We didn't realize how much power his opinions had over everything, because one, he was one of the only people at the time that was posting content before the rest of us figured out how to make it on our own, or before the rest of us got lucky with the algorithm and our videos started to get pushed out. That's part of the reason why everybody felt as if his opinions were like the right opinion, where there's no such thing as like a right opinion when it comes to media. Anyway, let's move on. And the problem with this is that it's kind of harmful. Not kind of, it actually is very, very harmful, because I remember my friend Wacky Daily made a point about this in his video where they were talking about Mr. Enter's catastrophe that was Nicaragua. Okay, like I said, it is very harmful when it comes to content that isn't very known, okay? Because that was a big thing that a Nostalgia Critic did. A lot of the stuff that he reviewed was either not very popular or not very known. So this, like I said, this is the same problem that I had with Mr. Enter, is that they would take something that many people have not seen in a while or haven't seen at all, or something that is very, very well known that isn't really talked about, and then they'll give it like an overly exaggerated negative review, and that will leave so many first impressions of the film. That it's one thing to do it with something that is bad for the culture, like freaking Spork, okay? Spork is bad for the culture, okay, y'all? There was nothing wrong with what I did, okay? Because I'm like, that was not okay. That film is hurtful. But it's another to do it to something like The Exes that came on Nickelodeon, or El Tigre, where many people have not seen those shows, and those shows actually aren't very problematic to begin with. And it'd be another when it comes to like the Digimon movie, because oh my gosh, don't get me started. That Digimon movie review he did, I loved that movie, and then once I saw him rip it to shreds, it just kind of ruined that entire film for me altogether. Yeah. And by the way, when I mentioned The Exes and I mentioned El Tigre, that was Mr. Enter right there. That's not what Nostalgia Critic did. But one thing Nostalgia Critic did do was when it came to Totally Spies the movie, and like I said, Totally Spies is not meant for everyone, and a lot of people have not seen that movie. A lot of people weren't even aware that Totally Spies had a movie. I love Totally Spies the movie, and his review of it really just kind of messed up my view of that film. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of people just kind of have a negative reception of Totally Spies the movie, because that's a film that you can watch on YouTube. His episode that he did on Totally Spies the movie, the views are about similar. They're not about similar, but it's a lot of views. I've been wanting to make that Totally Spies the movie review for so long, but I just kind of been put off about doing it because of his review. Anyway, we're gonna get back to that later because it's something else that I mentioned later on in this timeline that I see, but I want to wait and save that for later. The worst part about a lot of these Nostalgia Critic episodes, not a lot, all of them, is that he puts clips within the episodes of the media he is discussing, and then the clips are in there the entire movie's run. Okay, the entire movie's run. Like, it feels as if you're watching the movie, so it feels as if you've already seen the film. You felt like you've watched the entire thing, and here, this right here, this is why I don't really care too much for a lot of that those people that just sit and just kind of view a movie the entire time. I love Avery though. Avery is one of those people I actually do enjoy doing it. Like, in Trend Level, she's another one, and I know her name's like Oh Cheryl, because it's like they're having a lot of fun when they're doing it. They're not just being overly mean about it. They're just having fun with the film. But when Nostalgia Critic does it, he's just being very, very mean. And because of this, I felt like I've seen the movie, and him giving his very, very mean critiques on the film, I felt as if I've seen it and I don't need to watch it again. And this right here has messed me up with two films that he's done, okay? One that I've seen and another one that I didn't see. The first one is Casper. I don't care. I love Casper. That movie has issues, but I loved it. I loved it when I was a kid, and then I watched a Nostalgia Critic's review on it, and it really, really messed me up, and it made me hate the movie. But then one Halloween, I rewatched it again, and I loved it. I was like, I'm sorry, Doug Walker. We're gonna have to disagree this one time. I enjoyed the live action Casper film. And the other movie where it really, really hurt me the most was the live action Alice in Wonderland. I had never seen that film until I watched his Nostalgia Critic episode about Alice in Wonderland. And that right there, I didn't know what to think. I thought that because he hated the film, I had to hate it. You guys see like this ongoing thing that I am bringing up. I felt as if I had to dislike it. And I actually, not too long after watching his review of it, I decided to go to the library, check it out, and watch it for myself. And I loved it. I love the movie, and I like the live action Alice in Wonderland better than the animated version, their original 50s version, and that's okay. That's okay. Whereas Doug Walker prefers the animated version over the live action one. There's nothing wrong with me enjoying that movie, okay? And it's not perfect. I understand the live action Alice in Wonderland movie has freaking issues, but there have been so many things that I have wanted to talk about on my channel, and I have not done it because the Nostalgia Critic has made a bad, mean review on it, okay? And I understand everybody has their opinions and things like that, where you could talk about one thing and another person will have a completely different opinion on it. That's okay. The prime example of that is my Fate Winx Club review versus everyone else's Fate Winx Club review, okay? I liked Fate the Winx Saga. Many other people hated it. I'm one of the people on here that actually had a positive review of the series, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. And the main reason I'm scared is because, like I said, so many people share their opinions with the Nostalgia Critic. They think that if the Nostalgia Critic said it, that it is right, and that is the only way people can feel about that media. And I'm just so scared that the comment section is going to be filled with negative comments of people just repeating the things that he has said. You get where I'm coming from. You get where I'm coming from. I'm sorry, y'all. I have like a lot of anxiety, and I just worry a lot about things like that, because I already do get harassed a lot on the internet, but we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that because of the negative effect that his work has had on me. This is the reason why I always try to make disclaimers in my videos where I do speak about things that I don't like. I always tell people in general that just because I like something doesn't mean you have to like it, or just because I dislike something that means that you have to dislike it also, especially like when it comes to Mal from Descendants. You can like Mal all you want. I have never told anyone that they can't like Mal. I think Mal sucks, but that's my opinion, okay? You can like Mal. I don't care if you like Mal, okay? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that's okay. That's why I always make that disclaimer about it. And the way I'm gonna close out this video, not really closing out, but this next section of the video where it's getting closer to the conclusion, is that here are some things that he has touched on that I enjoyed, and it just kind of made me really confused in the end. One, when he reviewed The Wiz. This one right here was right when I was finally kind of starting to like feel a little iffy about him. I love this movie because it's unapologetically black, okay? It's so obvious that when you watch certain films that they're just obviously meant for black people. Like, this is one of those films. The Wiz is one of those movies. To be honest, this movie right here is not really meant for white people. It's not meant for the white gaze, to be more particular. It's just celebrating black culture through a timeless tale, okay? The Wizard of Oz, it's a timeless tale. It never gets old. Literally everyone knows the story, even if you've never seen the film before. We all know about the Wizard of Oz. We all know how this story goes. And it was just told through black art. And I thought that was very beautiful. Is the movie perfect? No. But it's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable film. I think it's a good movie, and I don't care what anybody else says. And a lot of it had to do with like the time period and things like that. There was a lot of racism in the 70s. There's still a lot of racism now, and I blame that to why this movie couldn't be its best to its ability. But anyway, like I said, is it perfect? No, but I really enjoyed it. And he also, like I mentioned, he made really unnecessary comments about Diana Ross's appearance in that video, and it just really kind of put me off, and it really kind of messed up the way I view Diana Ross too at that time. And Diana Ross is beautiful, don't care what nobody says. Anyway, let's go on to the next thing that he touched on that had me really messed up. I have mentioned this before in like numerous Discord servers that I've been in, but he posted a review of the Cheetah Girls, and that one right there really hurt me. It was a Disney-cember video, and basically, you guys don't know what Disney-cember is. It's basically where in December he would just review Disney content. That's basically what Disney-cember is. And this one really messed me up because, like The Wiz, the first Cheetah Girls movie is unapologetically black. Like, Whitney Houston freaking produced it. That's how black the first Cheetah Girls movie is. And is it perfect? No, it is far from perfect. The first Cheetah Girls film has a lot of freaking issues. I will be the first person to say that to you, okay? As somebody that prefers the first movie or the second movie, where I think the second movie is a better film, I will be the first person to tell you the second one's better. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But this movie right here is very important to me and many other black and Latino girls, and just Latino people and black people in general, is because growing up, we got to see ourselves being pop stars in Disney Channel. Like, a lot of Disney Channel material and a lot of their stars, they were kind of like, you could see yourself in them. And that's how we were with the Cheetah Girls. We finally got to see ourselves as pop stars. As you know, Disney Channel always was pushing the white girlies forward and whatever. We finally had girls and people that looked like us in those spaces, and it was a nice change. It was such a nice change. Like I said, I loved me some Hannah Montana when I was a kid, but she didn't do it for me like Keely Williams. Yes, I'm giving Keely Williams her props. And Raven-Symoné did in the Cheetah Girls. Right where I was saying, sorry, you know, my camera cuts off after 30 minutes, so yeah. But this right here is just a prime example of not everything is meant for you. Not everything is meant for you. And this movie right here is just not for Doug. It's not in his target demographic, and that's okay. That's okay. It's so obvious that the Cheetah Girls is meant for girls of color between the ages of probably like 6 and 13. It's not meant for you, and that's alright. You didn't have to make such a really mean negative review of the show. And oh my god, the Cheetah Girls books are so much better. Don't get me started. But like I said, take me as an example when it comes to this. I'm not a fan of Star Wars, but that's because I'm not a fan of sci-fi. I know if I watch Star Wars, I'm not gonna like it. I know I am not going to like it, okay? It's just a no for me. Do I think Star Wars is bad? No. But I know I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not gonna go out of my way to, like, you know, you get what I'm saying? You know what? I'm not even gonna go in more detail about this because that video just pissed me off. The next thing that he kind of messed my opinion up on, Oliver and Company. I just don't have much to say about this movie because I thought it was a great film. I thought it was an amazing movie, and he thought it was just okay. So I started to think it was just an okay film. I don't freaking care. I love me some Oliver and Company. I love me some Oliver and Company, and I don't like Land Before Time. I'm okay. I don't like Land Before Time. The Statue Critic likes Land Before Time. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm sorry. No. So, another one, the live action Scooby-Doo. That's another one that really, really messed me up. I don't care what nobody has to say. I think the live action Scooby-Doo film is a chaotic masterpiece, okay? I think it's a chaotic masterpiece. One day that video will come on this channel. Today is not that day though, but I think the live action Scooby-Doo movie is a chaotic masterpiece. I love that movie so much as a kid. I knew it word from word because that's how much I've seen it. I loved it so much when I was a teenager, and I love it so much as an adult. I think that may be one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the live action Scooby-Doo movie. It's just a really fun film. That's literally what it is. It's a fun movie. And the last but not least, the thing we're gonna get into where Nostalgia Critic kind of ruined my perspective on it was the live action Descendants movies. I didn't even watch his Disney-cember reviews. I started like watching the first one and then I clicked off of it because I was like, nope, because I knew, that was when I knew better at this time. I was like, I know good and well this man's opinions are gonna affect how I like Descendants, because Descendants is something that has made me so freaking happy, especially my last 2 years of high school, because those last 2 years were, how do I say, hell. Okay, I'm sorry y'all, I've been watching a lot of Most Popular Girls in School and I had to do it. How do you say hell? I'm sorry, I had to do it. Like I said, y'all know me, I am the Descendants expert. I am the Descendants enthusiast, and I was like, you are not about to sit here and ruin this film franchise for me. I know it's terrible, but I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear a professional film critic say that it's terrible. Is he even a professional film critic? I don't know. Anyway, the moral of all of this is think for your damn self. That's it. Just think for yourself. That is what we all can take away from this video. Who is texting me? Oh no, it's okay. It's just Planned Parenthood. Oh no, that looked important. We're gonna look at it later. But the moral of all of this is just to think for yourself. I personally do not watch hot takes on something unless I've seen it for myself. And a lot of times I won't even watch a positive take on something unless I've seen it for myself. Because there have been so many times where I have been super duper sad that I didn't like the things that my friends like, okay? There have been so many times, and it's horrible, okay? Because I've also pretended to like things that my favorite content creators like when I really don't. Like I mentioned earlier about Spirited Away and how I pretended to like the movie because Doug Walker gave us such this amazing review for it. But it's okay. I think Spirited Away is boring. I can live with myself. I'm okay with admitting that, okay? And as someone that grew up and got bullied pretty bad throughout my childhood, growing up until I graduated high school, like y'all, I am not lying. Y'all can go ask somebody I went to school with. They can tell you, yeah, people picked on her the whole entire time. I'm not lying about that. It's freaking horrible. I don't want to get into it. Because of me getting picked on, a lot of what I got picked on for is that being a nerd and liking a lot of these nerdy things. And I was ashamed of the things I liked, and I vowed to never be like that again. And one of the first things I needed to do when it came to being more accepting and loving as who I was a person was stop watching the Nostalgia Critic. That was the first thing I needed to do. Stop watching this show. This show is ruining you. This show is hurting you. You are better off without this series, Harriyanna. And I don't really regret being a fan of Nostalgia Critic because it taught me a very valuable lesson. You're not always gonna like the things that other people like, and that's okay. Nothing is made for everyone. We are all different, and the world would be really freaking weird if we all like the same things. That is why we have so many different genres and so many different kinds of art, because everyone is so different. If you want to take something away from this video, please take that away. This one was, oh godly. Like I said, I'm not in the right headspace to be happy, but I am kind of in a good headspace to give some advice, if that makes sense. Thank you guys for watching this video so much. I'm very satisfied with the way it turned out. I am very, very grateful. If you guys would like to see more of me, please go support me on Patreon. People have been asking me about the live action Powerpuff Girls script, and I have posted a video on my Patreon talking about that. I also have posted a video about me talking about Wreck-It Ralph. I have a video about me talking about Frozen, and I do have a video of me talking about The Little Mermaid over there too. So please go and check those things out. If you guys would like to follow me for free on everything is Harriyanna. All of my social medias are Harriyanna. My nose is starting to itch. That means it's time for me to cut this off. Please hit that subscribe button, by the way, if you like this video and this is your first time ever seeing me. I'm very, very grateful for it. Really, really want to hit 70K by the end of the month. Probably not going to happen, but I would love if that happened. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA. The Powerpuff Girls are just here to